Hey everybody, Dr. Greco here. Welcome to Ministry in a Minute. So, yesterday we started talking about the uns, people who yesterday we discussed the unsaved, okay? But today I want to talk about Christians who are in the church but are unconnected. See, sometimes we get people saved and they believe in Jesus, they place their faith in Jesus, they want to follow Jesus, but they don't connect to the church. Now, this could be because they were led to the Lord by an individual or a well-meaning Christian in the workplace or in public or in a neighborhood, but they weren't necessarily told or reminded that the Bible teaches that you're not saved just into this relationship with Jesus, but into a relationship with His church. And in the Scriptures, there's 100 times where the writers of the Scriptures use the word one another. And we are called heavily to encourage one another. We're called to disciple one another. We should always be in a relationship where somebody is helping us grow and we are helping someone else grow. And so how we encourage one another and teach one another and train one another and hold one another accountable, how we do all of that, the prescription for that in the Bible is the local church. And so it is imperative that we connect people to the local church. In fact, it's one of the basic building blocks in Acts chapter 2. The very first church, they were devoted to the fellowship, to spending time together for the sake of growing and serving. Okay? Romans chapter 12, there's verses and verses and verses about this. Verse 10, he says, "Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality." Well, how do we encourage if we're not together? How do we share if we're not together? How can we be devoted to one another in love and honor one another if we're not together? Okay, so sometimes people are unsaved, but sometimes they get saved and they're unconnected. So help the kingdom grow, get people connected. You get to church, you invite people to church, and you love one another in church and watch the kingdom grow. We'll see you tomorrow for another Ministry in a Minute.